Hi guys, my name is Veronica, and today I'm going to be doing my February wrap-up. Let's be real for a second. I'm being completely honest right now. From the beginning of the year until now, March 1st, I have read 5 books, and that is it. 4 of which were technically in February. I have time during school to read because our classes have been cut shorter this year, and so we work from the beginning of class until the end of class in every class that I'm in. And then I come home and I work on homework or projects or assignments of some form or fashion. And then once I'm done with that, I'm totally exhausted and just don't have any extra time to read. Or really, I'm not awake enough to read. I'll just fall asleep. So it's been very difficult for me to get books read. I'll go ahead and just give you the book that I read in January was The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, which is the first book in the Raven cycle. And I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The beginning, probably the first third, maybe a little bit more than that, I had trouble. I was like, I don't understand this book. I don't think I'm going to like it. I was pretty turned off to it. I also disliked Blue, who was one of the very main characters. And so I thought that I was going to have to give up on it. But then it got better, it improved, and so I ended up really, really loving the ending. So because I ended up enjoying it, I decided to continue on with the series. And then the book that I half read in January and half read in February was The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater, which is the second book in the Raven cycle. And this one I gave 4 out of 5 stars, much, much, much better than the first one. There was not a time where I was confused or a time where I was feeling like it was dragging. I thought the story was perfectly paced the whole time, plenty of action. It was mainly focused around the character Ronan, who is my favorite character, so that obviously made it a lot better. As I also read the 3rd book in the Raven cycle this month, which is Blue Lily, Lily Blue. This is the 3rd book in the series. There is one more book, but it's not out yet. It doesn't come out till November. My favorite yet, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I thought that there was the appropriate amount of action and also suspense, but also just the regular, down times where you kind of get to know the characters better. I have become extremely attached to the characters and extremely attached to the story, and I'm equal bits excited and terrified for the 4th book. The 2nd book that I read in the month of February was Love Letters to the Dead by Ava DeLaria, or something like that. And this book is about a girl who gets an English assignment to write a letter to a dead person. And so she does. She writes a letter to Kurt Cobain. But it's a very personal letter, and it's about things that are happening in her life. So she doesn't turn it in. Instead, she just keeps writing the letters. And she tells the story of her freshman year just through these letters that she's writing to these dead celebrities. It's almost like a diary, but it's a really unique concept. I absolutely loved it. I love people and I love looking into their lives, and so it was really cool that she was writing to these people because there were times where she would talk to them about their lives and things like that, and I like learning those little tidbits. The final book that I read in the month of February was Attachments by Rainbow Rowell, and I actually finished this yesterday, so the very last day of February. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was slow for the first 50 pages. Friday afternoon I finally sat down and started reading and read about half of the book, and then Saturday I sat down and finished it. So even though it was slow in the beginning, it ended up being extremely captivating and enjoyable. It's about a guy named Lincoln who starts working as an IT at a newspaper company or office, and he's supposed to be checking the email of the people that work in the office to make sure that they're not sending emails that they shouldn't be and that everything is kept professional. But he starts reading these emails between a woman named Beth and her friend Jennifer, and he finds them so entertaining and becomes so involved in their lives and keeping up with their lives that he doesn't send them warnings and he keeps reading their emails. Which is weird, but then he falls in love with one of them. He falls in love with Beth, but he knows there's no way he could ever talk to her because he'd have to say, "Hi, I'm Lincoln, I've read all of your emails and I fell in love with you through them." But the ending was also extremely rushed. The reason I thought it wasn't going to end the way I thought it was going to was because there were 10 pages left and it hadn't happened yet, and I was like, okay, she's not going to do what I thought because there's no time. And there wasn't time, but she did it anyway, which was, Another thing I really enjoyed about this was, yes, there was a little bit of romance in it, but since the 2 characters didn't even really know each other, it was more focused on their actual lives, on the lives of Beth and Jennifer that you see through their emails, and also on Lincoln's life, and there's a lot of character development there. So I thought that was really cool that it wasn't just a romance. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've read these books, I would love to hear your opinions on them. I'd also like to know what books you read in the month of February, and I'm hoping that you're having a much better reading time than I am so far this year. I apologize if this video is not the best. I know that there might be noise in the background. Really apologize for that. Circumstances I can't quite help. That's all I have for this video. I'll see you next time. I love you. Bye!